Hello and welcome to JIL Training Solutions. Today we are going to see how to create a pivot table based off of a data set. And the data set I have here today is a real data set that shows procurements that the City of Chicago has issued based on this bid opening date. So if you are an entrepreneur, small business who would like to do business with Chicago, these are some of the projects that you can currently bid on. So let's get started. So in order to create a pivot table, the first row or the data set that you're going to use needs to have a field name or column name. So as you can see, you have the opening date, the contract number, project name, department name, procurement contract, and so forth. And so in order for you to be able to summarize this data, you need to be able to do it based off of a field name. So let's get started. So on top of the ribbon bar, there is a Insert tab. So left click on that and then select Pivot Table. When you select the pivot table, there's logic already in Excel that's able to determine the range of data set that you currently have. However, I am going to show you how to change that. So say for instance, if you only wanted the bid opening date and the contract number, you can select that range of data. So let me show you how to do that. So here you have the arrow. Click on the arrow. And when you do that, it takes you to the worksheet, and so now you have free range to select the data that you want to appear in your pivot table. So I'm going to select column A all the way to column D, and then I can go all the way down to the end of the row. So if I only wanted this information, this is what I would select. So I'm going to let that go, and as you can see, there is a blinking line that goes around the range that shows you that this is the information that will be used for your data set. Also, if you look up here, it says Chicago Procurement Bid, which is the title of my worksheet. Then it says from A1, which is A1 from the bid opening date, to D14. So D14 is here. Okay, so it's showing me the data range that I have selected, but for this illustration I want all the data. So I'm going to left click on the arrow, and then I'm going to go here and I'm going to highlight all the columns all the way to location, and then I'm going to go all the way down to the end of this data set. Alright, so my data set is now selected. This is all the data that I want to use in my pivot table. So I'm going to left click to get back to the create pivot table dialog box. Use an external data source. We have the option of using an external data source like SQL Server, Microsoft Access. You could use a text file, but for this illustration we're going to actually use the current worksheet. The next selection would be, or the next option would be, choose where you want the pivot table report to be placed. So usually I like to put it in the new worksheet. However, if you want to display the summary of your information along with the data, then existing worksheet is what you would do. But for this illustration, we're going to do new worksheet. So I'm going to select OK. And so as you can see, it opened up a new worksheet called Sheet 3. This is where the pivot table is going to be displayed at. These are my fields that I can use to create the table. So the first thing I want to do is take project name. So I'm going to left click on project name and move it to the row section. Now as you see, when I did that, all of the distinctive project names is appearing here. And now I want to do it based off of bid amount. So I'm going to left click on bid amount and place it in the value box. And as you see, it's giving me the summation for each project. Now let's do a filter, and I would like to filter on city. So I'm going to select city, left click and drag it into the filter section. We'll do column later, so let me just show you with city, project name, and bid amount how this works. So I have all the unique project names and the total sum amount for each, this total sum amount for each bid, for each project. And then on the city, I have the option, right now it's giving me all of the cities, but just say for instance, I don't want to see all the cities. I just want to see everything that's in Naperville. So I'm going to check this box that says select multiple items. I'm going to go scroll to the top and I'm going to unselect all. And then I'm going to select the cities that I want. So I'm saying I want Naperville, and then I'm going to select OK. And so now there's only one project that's available in Naperville. Well, I'm looking for more, and this is not the one I want. So I'm going to select city, and then I'm going to say, well, you know what, give me Oak Brook, Schaumburg, and Chicago. I'm going to select OK, and as you see, the list increased because the number of cities that I have selected has increased. Now, what if you want to see when the bid opening dates were for these projects? So if I click anywhere on this pivot table, the pivot table field dialog box will appear. And so I'm going to go here and I want to look for bid opening date. I'm going to left click that and move it to the column field. Then to remove this pivot table field dialog box, I can either hit the close button right here by hitting the X, or I can left click outside of the box. And so now you see these are the different opening bid dates. These are the project names, and then this here is the sum of the bid amount. I also have the option of formatting the values for the bid amount. So if I highlight all of the amounts that I want to format, and then select $, and so now the data is displayed in $signs. I also can come here and say, you know, give me everything, not just the Chicago, Naperville, and Oak Brook, and Schaumburg. If I select all, OK, and now I have all the cities, all the distinctive project names, and all the bill amounts based on these opening dates. So pivot tables is a great way to summarize your data. So hope you learned something. Play around with some data sets that you're familiar with, and try also, instead of inserting the pivot table on a new worksheet, try to insert it on the current worksheet. Play with it, have fun. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you like this video and you learn from it, please like it. Also, please subscribe by clicking the red button below. This will also allow you to get more alerts about upcoming videos that we'll be having. And again, thank you for watching this video. Enjoy.